Hello, students. So I am attempting this new technology that will allow me to post lectures while sharing my screen so I can sort of talk you through some documents. And this may be a little bit rough. I haven't written out a script or practiced it beforehand, so I hope that in this time we can all be fairly forgiving of one another if we make mistakes. Um, so I'm just trying this out. You may have seen that I posted a new syllabus revision to the Blackboard. And the main theme of the syllabus is that it is flexible and therefore I can post links to YouTube lectures and that sort of thing. And um, should be able to add in information as we move forward and as new information is released about how the hell this whole distance learning thing is going to work. So that's why I thought a Google document would be the best for this. So I'm looking at the document now, Coronasyllabus Revision, Introduction to Literature. And I do want to reassure all of you that many of us professors are talking about how to be flexible also in our grading. So if you're worried about your grades, you just really need to show up to the class and do the work. And honestly, many of us are going to be very generous in how we assess your work. So at least for me, please don't worry that you're going to get a low grade as long as you can make it, as long as you show up to the Zoom fairly frequently and participate in discussion boards. I think we'll get through this. So I've posted the Zoom meeting link to the document, and it's going to be the same meeting ID for every time that we meet. So try to keep things simple. Um, and as I say, try to be ready in the call 5 minutes before the beginning of class. Okay, one good thing is finally BMCC has gotten the Zoom Pro account, so our calls won't expire after 40 minutes. So I'm going to make sure to revise that in this document. It's a guideline that's no longer oh, look, see, I can highlight it. I already sort of forget that you can, I need to get used to this, that you can actually see what I'm looking at. So this, yeah, it doesn't count anymore. I hope we can all build ourselves up to using the webcam as long as it doesn't slow anything down too much. I know some of you are shy, or maybe just self-conscious about your home or your background or whatever it is. So if that makes you really uncomfortable, then you can just stick with the audio for now, but try to learn how to raise your hand and make yourself known, and maybe participate in the chat box. I just need to know that you're not like just falling asleep while we're having class, even though I know some of you do that in class anyway. So, not so different than the Fitterman 806 environment. But I hope that if you're feeling shy, even now, that maybe in a couple class times you'll be able to join in and so we can see you and read your body language. I think that's just better for a personal interaction. I think that I recommend using the gallery rather than the speaker mode so that all our faces are equally spaced throughout the screen so that, it's a little intimidating if whenever you speak, suddenly your face is like blown up on our laptops. So there's a little thing in the icon in the top right corner of Zoom where you can click gallery mode and then we're all in it together, in the screens together. I'm not sure how that works for the mobile app, but try to show up for the call, with a pen, with a notebook, and with the text somehow in front of you, even just in digital form. So, be professional as much as possible, although I don't mind if you're in your pajamas or in your bed or whatever. We need to be accommodating, but also do treat the class with, respect. I think I don't mind casual conversation in the chat box in Zoom. So feel free to be silly as long as it's not too distracting. And oh, I haven't put a note here, but I've opened a course blog on Blackboard as well if you want to post questions or concerns. So now it's listed under the left-hand column. It says Corona course blog. And so far, no one has posted anything, which is fine. If you don't want to use it, I'm not going to make you use it. I don't care. But if you do have issues, I think it's important to be building community and sharing resources as much as possible. Which, by the way, like to that effect, I think I heard that there were some possible corona cases at BMCC. So they've once again shuttered the school, so you can't go into class today. I don't even know when you'll be watching this, as they do a thorough cleaning, and then hopefully they'll open it again. So I hope that doesn't cause you too much inconvenience, but it's all very confusing to keep up with the new notices. I've also posted some updates to the academic calendar. So if you decide that you do need to withdraw from our class, you have until May to make that decision. So I think that's pretty generous of the school. And then also, oh yeah, the NC credit or grade, which means if you think you might fail, you should contact me and I can give you an NC. But I don't want any of you to fail. But anyway, it's better to get that no credit than an F. So you should be talking to your advisors, and I can add that to your file. Or yeah, I have until May again. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can send me a message. So definitions. Synchronous learning. So this is the way the course is going to work, is a mix of synchronous and asynchronous learning. Synchronous just means that we're together at the same time, maybe in different places. So that's what we're using with Zoom. I'm sure some of the other classes are doing that as well. So that's the synchronous component of our class, like being in a classroom together. But then I've tried to make it clear what the asynchronous expectations are. And if every once in a while you have to miss a Zoom class because of work, I understand that, and there may be other alternatives. So I'm going to post YouTube lectures. So in this, can you see my mouse? I'm not sure. I'll have to watch this after. Hey, Theo. I just still have to meet my cat. He's not. Okay. Sorry. So I will be posting links to any lectures in the right-hand column here, the asynchronous learning column, which asynchronous learning you do on your own time when you can. You should try to plan things out as best you can in an agenda or a calendar, because like time is just going to feel very different now, and you need to be conscientious about like when you're going to complete your coursework. So you should always do the reading on your own time. That's an asynchronous thing that is I don't even feel like I should be able to need to say that. But then what happens in the right-hand column here is what you need to do before the class in the left-hand column. So I'm gonna open some kind of discussion board about Kafka. And yeah, there's not too much in the in the right-hand column, but I've added new deadlines for the upcoming essay. And we're going to dive into Shakespeare. I still feel like we don't have too much left in the class, because Othello's going to take us a while. And then, all right, I'm going to wrap it up because I know I'm not, in fact, studies have shown that students don't really watch after about 7 minutes of a video like this, and now I'm at 8.5 minutes. So I'm just going to make a note that I've added new guidelines for the upcoming essay, which is now due hopefully right before spring break, which as far as I know is still a thing. We're gonna have a spring break, and it's gonna possibly give you an opportunity to write about the coronavirus and disease, because guess what, both Kafka and Charlotte Perkins Gilman's Yellow Wallpaper are kind of about disease and isolation and containment. So it's a weird confluence that I didn't even anticipate, so I figured why not maybe write about it, unless you want a break from talking or thinking about Corona, which you don't have to write about disease in these two texts. And you can also write about Claudia Rankine. I'm going to have to talk about that, the second essay, maybe during Zoom or in a different lecture. And then I do hope we can still find some way to do an Othello performance, even just remotely, or even like planning out what you might be doing if you were to put on a performance. Like, we're going to see how that works, but I don't want to trash that just yet, because I think some kind of performance component is really important. And then we have one more essay. So basically the guidelines for the remainder of the class is one essay coming up before spring break, some kind of group performance that we'll do remotely, social distancing performance, and unless we can go to parks again, I don't know. And then a final paper, which might not be as long as I originally anticipated. All right, that's 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. I hope this Screenomatic thing sort of helps you follow along with what's going on with the class.